Hello there. Yeah, we're continuing with our project, working on this interior scene of a train station. Sorry, of a train. And yeah, I think today we're going to be just adding the details and then maybe working on the materials, lighting, and maybe conclude this project so we can move on to the next thing. So without further ado, let's get into it by creating these glass panels. So to do that, I'm just going to do them on the side here, and then I can bring them in later. So let's add a plane. If there is any issues, just let me know so that I can see if I can fix them. So let's create this panel here, this glass panel. Hello film effects, how are you doing? Let's bring this up, push this vertex down, use Ctrl Shift B to bevel that, use your middle mouse wheel. Okay, I think it's supposed to be around here, and I can add a loop here, then push this vertex up like around there, and then maybe push this vertex down as well. Then I can select this edge, then bevel that edge to have something like this. Now I can round off these edges just a bit. I think just these two here, using Ctrl Shift B to have something like that. We can add the solidify modifier, apply scale, just to have some thickness, and then down on auto smooth. Then I'm also going to change the angle because I'm seeing that these edges are not being smoothened. So just change this angle to about 45, 60. Okay, so I just have it to 45. Make sure you just shade smooth. Then we can add a bevel modifier, so we can round off those edges a bit. So I'm just going to reduce my offset here, turn on harden normals, and then also change the limit method to angle. Something like that is good enough. Then I'm also going to add this, I don't know what you can call this, but let me first subdivide these edge loops here, right click, also going to straighten them. And just going to bevel this edge loop here, Ctrl B, then extrude this like this, and then scale that in like so, and then I can round off these vertices. Let me just round off only these here, just like that. That part there. I think this edge here is supposed to be sharper, so let's go in and try fixing that. So I can dissolve these vertices here and that there. Bevel these, but make sure that I don't bevel it too much. Have something like that, and then yeah, now we can place this into our scene. Just going to grab it, scale it down. Remember, it is these glass panels are on every pole here that we already created. So let's just move them closer. Let me see, is this a mesh? Yeah, so this is a mesh, so which means that we can have this, we can join this glass panel to our pole here, and they should be added to every part of our, should be added on every pole that we have in our scene. Something like that. I'll give it the glass material. Push that in just a bit. Let's go to material mode here and see how things are looking. Not bad. Let's go to material settings here. Make sure that the blend mode is set to blend, and then the shadow can be set to alpha, and we can reduce the alpha here. Let me make this a separate material because we need to give it some color. So reduce this to something like that, and also give it a bluish tint, something like that. Now if we join this to this pole, we should have these repeated all over. Let me bake these lights and see how things are going here. So let me turn on screen space reflections and refractions, and for our glass material, let me turn on screen space refractions as well. Then okay, my internet is slowing down really fast. Let me just bake things here and try fixing my internet. So let's go and indirect lighting and hit bake. Okay, I think the light has baked, so I think it looks good. You can see we have some nice reflections and some soft shadows. Our light is also, yeah, looking great. Hunter Wells, how are you? I missed some. Can you start from the very beginning? I've just started. You haven't missed much. Oh, these poles are now glass. Let me give them the metal material as well. So I'll just go back here and assign them the metal material we just created. I'm not sure if I have it here. Let's just create a new material. And set this as metal and assign that to this here. And let's see what else. Let's work on these seats now, which are very simple as well. So I'm just going to go to the side here as well and then start working on these seats. I think if we start with a plain, set this 90 degrees. I'm going to change this to look dev so that my PC doesn't lag too much. And then so we're going to create this slanting edge, so I'm just going to pull this vertex in just like that, and now we can select this entire thing and then extrude it like that. So if we select these edges, we can round them off using Ctrl B to bevel those edges like so, and then auto smooth, set auto smooth like that. we can select these, maybe push it back a bit, so we have something like that. I think we have bolts around here, so maybe what I can do is just subdivide this. Okay, I'm not sure why my internet looks slow in my OBS, but my connection looks good. Hello Grant, how are you doing? Just quickly saying hi. Can't stay for long, but good luck with your stream. Thank you, man. Thank you for being around, for just saying hi, for the support. Yeah, I missed your live stream, the texture painting. I guess I will just have to go back and watch that, because I really was interested in watching your texture painting part. So I will just watch the replay. But thank you for the support. I'll do this. Scale this on the y-axis. It's going to reset my origin to geometry like that. So I have something like that, and I'll also subdivide this so that I can have a mirror modifier here. Then add this on the x-axis. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to apply rotation because I think my axes are not aligning. So I'm just going to apply rotation. Then have something like that. Then for the seed, I can go back to the side view. Just select maybe this edge loop, Shift D. Then I can also extrude this on y-axis like that. Then round off this edge, Control Shift B, something close to that. Then I'm going to use the solidify modifier here, but I don't want it to be applied to this seed here, to the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is Control L, separate it as an object. First I'm going to disable this mirror, then extrude this on the y-axis like that. Then add a solidify modifier, Shift N. If you're seeing these issues here where parts of the mesh are intersecting, just use Shift N to recalculate the normals, and it should fix that issue. Now after we add the solidify modifier, you can apply it so that we can make a few changes to the mesh. I want to round off these here. Let me first reduce my music here a bit. You can select these faces, pull them closer, then select this and push it down a bit. I can see this is angled a bit, it's slanting back. We can select this vertex here, push that back, and then we can select these here, these edges, round them off using Ctrl B. I think we might need to push this back a bit, but let's see. You can use again your middle mouse wheel to add resolution. Now for this side, I think I'm going to push these up a bit, just so this is a bit more thick than it is. And I'll select this, push it forward a bit like that, and select these edges, Ctrl B, round it off just a bit like that, then scale it on the x-axis. I don't know, yeah, I think it's okay here. I can just add a loop here and delete this side, X, delete faces, and I can join this back to this here since it already has our modifiers. Turn on clipping so that we don't have any vertices clipping through the mirror. I just need to push this down a bit like that, have something like that, and then let's see. Okay, I think this extends out a bit, so I'm just going to grab this edge loop, then push it out just a bit like that. And let's see, we can add this detail here. So for that, I'm just going to select this edge loop, shift D to duplicate it, push it out just a bit, and then extrude it a tiny bit as well, like that. But I think its cross section is a little bit smaller than the other, so I'm just going to select this edge loop and use Alt S to push it in just a bit like that. You have to be very careful here if you're pushing in vertices so that they don't intersect. So you have to come in here and maybe just change some things a bit. So we have something like that. Now I'm also going to use, I don't know, let me see, should I use the bevel modifier? Yeah, let's use the bevel modifier. No, actually no. I'm thinking maybe I should use the bevel modifier, but I think I shouldn't, because I want to control the different roundness for. I want to have different bevels for different edges. For example, here I want this to have a larger bevel, and something like that. But for this here, this should have a thinner bevel. And usually, if you use the bevel modifier, it will give a uniform bevel for every sharp edge, unless you use bevel weights, where you can control the bevel width. But so I want this to have a thinner bevel, maybe something like that. Let me first. My mouse is not moving correctly. Let me just reset it and see. So this is what we have so far. I think my mouse is dying, so let me get some batteries before I continue. So let me just play some music here. God. Hi, Mr. Bubble. Sorry about that. My mouse just died on me, and I had to get new batteries. But let's continue. So we are here. I'm just going to try and speed up this time because I've lost a lot of time trying to fix my mouse. So let's add this detail here. So for that, I'm just going to go around this edge here, cursor selected, and then add a circle. We're going to use about 8 vertices, scale them down, then rotate these to align with the angle of this face, just like that. If you go to front view, first make sure that you turn off clipping so that the vertices are not kind of pulled in like that. Now I can just move this. Let's change let me just go here. Since when are you working with 3D modeling? Yeah, I've been working with I've been doing 3D modeling for about, I think, 10 years now. Let's change the orientation to normal so that we can move this on this angle. So I'm just going to use this Shift Z to move this Shift. Let me see. Name is, I can just grab this and move this on this plane here, around there, scale it down, extrude, Ctrl B to bevel, shade smooth, and then I can select this, set it, then extrude those in. I can select these outer edges, Ctrl B, pull them out like that. I'm going to go to my auto smooth here and change the angle to about 45 so that we have those smoothened out. Maybe also grab this. Let me change my orientation back to global and move these, spread these apart just like that. Maybe push them in just a bit like that. I was still working on this here. You can see we have this edge smoothing effect happening. So if I just reduce the n-gon here, we can get rid of that. We're also having some shading issues going on here, so let's fix. I'll have some intersecting here, and that's usually a result of the bevel being too high and the bevel offset kind of intersecting with everything. So I'm just going to select this edge loop and drag it back, select this edge loop, drag it down to have something like that. If you want, you can even merge these into one single vertex like that. Do the same here. Let me change my view clipping to something like 0.0 so that I can zoom in closer. So we can also just merge these, have something like that. Now let's work on this here. What I'm going to do is add an edge loop around here using Ctrl R, and maybe another one here. Then select this, Ctrl Shift B to bevel that edge loop. Use your middle mouse wheel to add more resolution, and then change the bevel profile to something like that. And then hit F to change this into a circle, and then Shift Alt S1 to convert it into a perfect circle. Instead, then select this outer ring, push it out. Now I can select these and maybe this outer ring as well, and bevel that. I need to change the bevel profile back to 0.5 like that. Reduce the segments 2, and we should be good. We need to do the same thing on the other side. So instead of just repeating the same steps, I'm just going to borrow this here. So I'm using Ctrl plus to select more, then Shift D to duplicate this and move that around here. So this area seems to be much thinner than this. So what I'm going to do, first hide this and select these edges. Hello Major Games, how are you doing? Then select these vertices, push them back just a bit. Now we can do the same here. Select this edge loop, like that, and add another loop around there. I need to straighten this loop around like that, and bring this up. You can slide the edge loop using by pressing G twice. Now we can bevel this edge loop. Ctrl B, increase the resolution, change the bevel profile, hit F, then Shift Alt S 1, and remember we have this piece we already made, so I'm just going to bring that in. So I can select this face, remove that, Ctrl L. Let's make sure that everything is aligned. And I can select these edges here, the outer loop, and bridge it with the rest of the edges. So bridge edge loops. Have something like that. Now I think our seat is done. Maybe we can work on the materials for now. So let me isolate these, go to loop dev, and let's work on this. Hey Manik Millennial, how are you doing? Let's create a metal material. Yeah, you're welcome, Manik Millennial. Thank you for being around here. So let's create a metal material. Let's select this piece, metal material, and then another plastic material. Actually, we are just going to reuse this metal and change it to a plastic material as well. So just expand this for a second. For the metal material, we're going to use some scratch textures. So let me find those. I think let's see. I have a few of them here, so let's first go with this. If you want to UV unwrap this, you can UV unwrap it, but I'm not going to UV unwrap it just yet. I'm just going to use object projection so that I can easily reuse this material. And whenever you use object projection, you need to change the projection of your image from flat to box. Now you can see that our scratches are laid nicely without any stretching onto our object. Now what I'm also going to do, first move this, add a color ramp, just to control the contrast here. Have something like that. If you want, you can add a math node. My mouse is convert math node, just to control the contrast. And what we're going to do is have this as the roughness, and give this a metal material. Now we can play with the roughness here to have something more shiny. I'm also going to increase the size of my scratches here. Have something like that. Now, you know what, I'm just going to end the stream here. I'll be back in about 30 minutes or less, just to get a new mouse, because this one is really, yeah, I think it's dead. It's not moving very well. I'm a 3D Max stroke Maya user. I understand that Blender is useful for creating, well, basically anything a lot easier and faster. Is this true? I might switch, but 3ds Max is industry standard. So yeah, I also used to use a 3ds Max, but yeah, ever since I started using Blender, I haven't wanted to switch back. Yeah, 3ds Max is the standard right now, but depending on your level of skills, by the time, if you are especially a beginner in 3D, in the 3D world, you might want to try looking into Blender, because by the time you get to the level where a studio might hire you, Blender might have entered or might have been adapted by different studios. So if you are new to 3D, I would recommend trying out Blender before you invest a significant amount of money in 3D applications like 3ds Max. And because my prediction is that in 5 or 6 years, Blender will also have the same share of the industry like any other platform you see, any other 3D platform, because it's being adapted very, very fast. So we have this is going to be our metal. Now we just need to change this and assign it to our plastic. So I'm just going to find the metal, duplicate this into any material, call this plastic, and we can assign this to this seat. Control L and then P. Sorry, don't P, just Control L and then assign this. Now we can remove the metalness and change the material here to this blue. Let me just sample directly from this. I only think that Maya better than Blender in UV mapping. No, Maya is very good at animating. In animation, a lot of people use it for animation because it has a lot of tools for that. So it's very good at rigging and animation. As I said, my mouse is really misbehaving, so what I'm going to do is just end the stream, and maybe in 15 or 20 minutes I'll be back with a new mouse, and we can continue from there. David Ut, true, thank you for responding. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, let me end the stream now. I'll come back with a better mouse that is not lagging.